everybody, my name is Shazanae, and today I am doing a video on some of the things that I think would be beneficial to bring on a first date. Now, not everything you need to bring. This is kind of a list of stuff that I put together that, in my personal experience, I found useful. And then it was kind of fun to think of while thinking of this video, because I was doing all these what if scenarios in my head to think of useful things that are small that you can carry with you on a first date. And I was like, oh my god, look, thank god I'm out of the dating scene, because there are so many things that can go wrong. But I want you to find this video entertaining, hopefully helpful to some of you ladies that are still out there looking for a man. And I don't know, I hope you enjoy this video. Please don't mind this hair. I came back from work and it was clipped up, and now it's doing some weird... Okay, if you're going on a date, make sure your hair is not doing this weird thing. That's not cute. Much for people who want a perfect date. If you're like me, and if something happens or something goes wrong or your nail falls off, you're not gonna be traumatized. But this list is for people who maybe it's your sweetheart and you really want to make a good impression. This is a list of stuff that you must have. Now, side note, I don't have everything that I have put on my list in front of me, because like I said, I haven't gone on a date in a very long time. I'm not planning on going on a date because I'm married. So I don't personally have these things in my possession, but they were things that I felt like I couldn't leave out of this list because they were pretty important. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with what I think you should carry. So the first thing is obviously a bag. Now, I would highly recommend just carrying a small wristlet clutch, or just, a clutch in general. I wouldn't carry around a big gigantic bag. I mean, it kind of depends on where you're going at for a date. But clutches are usually pretty versatile in that. I mean, they're great for a beach date, they're great for a nice dinner out, they're great for the movies. You're gonna be thinking about, you're gonna be so nervous thinking about the way you're dressed, does he like it, the way you look, how much you like him or her, I don't discriminate. And the last thing you want to be doing is worrying about carrying around a big bulky bag. Just personal experience, because I've only carried around personal big bags, so I have switched to a clutch for date night, and it really has changed my night around. I don't worry about it as often, especially if it has a wristlet. I don't have to worry about it going missing or being stolen or whatever, because that's always in the back of my mind if I'm carrying a big bag and I don't have it physically attached to me. So a lot of these things are beauty related, so you would kind of do this when you're getting ready for the date. I mean, I wouldn't recommend bringing a big giant tube of foundation, but the reason I added this is MAC's Studio Sculpt foundation, and the reason I added this to this checklist is because I highly recommend a full coverage foundation. Honestly, you're gonna be sweating a lot if you're nervous. At least that's me. If I get really, really nervous, I sweat a lot. So this and powder goes hand in hand, especially if you're greasy, greasier, oily. I have combination skin. I get a little bit oily, but mostly dry. I'll get really, really dry, then I'll get really, really oil, because the oil is trying to balance out the dryness. Anyways, so I would highly recommend either this foundation, because it stays on. So that's another really important thing about foundation, is you want to find something that will stay on throughout the entire night. You don't want to get home and find that it was just rubbed off and all your imperfections are peeking through. And loose powder will definitely help you with that. Especially, like I said, if you're greasy in the T-zone, it's just going to keep your foundation on and your concealer on all night. It's going to help you if you're sweating or whatever. I would actually throw this in my bag. So I'm going to show you what I would do before the date, and I would actually show you what I would bring on the date. This along with a brush or a little pad. If you don't have any of that, sure, you can use your fingers, but a brush would come in handy. They have a lot of like travel size brushes. Just grab a fluffy one or whatever, but I would highly recommend bringing a powder. I know for me in particular, if I went out like to a club or whatever and it's just a place where you're sweating a lot, this has definitely been a lifesaver. If I feel myself getting a little bit of greasy or a little bit shiny, I just powder myself. Just be sure that you don't cake it on. I mean, of course, you've heard that spiel over and over that you don't want cake face. It's not cute, especially for a first date. Second date, maybe. First date, meh. Going along the lines of the foundation, you want a good concealer, and I have done a review about this. I've raved about this. I still love this, and this is Maybelline's Master Conceal. I am in the I'm using the color light to medium because it's wintertime and I'm hibernating, so I have no color on me. So I am using Master Conceal. Again, I would highly recommend a high coverage concealer to go along with the high coverage foundation. Again, just make sure you don't cake, but you really want a good concealer that's going to conceal under eye bags. If you have a blemish, like I have this bad boy on the chin that I gotta get rid of, it's not even like a zit anymore, it's just like a scab. But anyways, if you have anything like that and you really want to cover, I know from personal experience, if I know I have a zit, even if it might not be like super noticeable to other people, if I know it's there, I think the world can see it, and I can't really concentrate. I can't have as good of a time because I'm worried about him noticing that zit and being like this girl. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe not to that extent, but it definitely does make me self-conscious if I know like I have a big zit and it's not covered well. For lip products, I know a lot of people like to, use lipsticks. This is the one that I'm actually wearing today, so I happen to have it, but it's Cream in Your Coffee from MAC. A lot of people like to wear, lipsticks on first dates, which is awesome, but always, please, for the love of God, at least for the first date, wear a lip liner. If you don't, I mean, you might have heard this a million times too, but if you don't, your lipstick is just gonna wear off. You're gonna put it in the car to go there, and then you're gonna get there and have nothing on your lips. Nobody wants crusty crust lips on the first date. So please do yourself a favor and wear a lip liner over your lipstick. Whatever you're wearing, just wear a lip liner. And I would highly recommend putting those in the bag to touch up throughout the night. As much as products claim, oh, I will last 14 hours on your lips and be bulletproof on your lips, it's gonna come off eventually, and when it does, you're gonna want a backup. Now for lip glosses, I have two different options. One stickier than the other. I would go for the stickier one. Again, I did a whole review video about this product. It's I believe it's the Elixir from Maybelline. I got like 5 different colors. This one's my favorite. This is actually on my lips on top of Cream on Your Coffee. Cream in Your Coffee. Don't cream on my coffee, cream in my coffee. I don't know which is worse. But anyways, this one's a little bit stickier than NYX Butter Gloss, but both won't last too long. So it's kind of like one of those things that you put on as soon as you're about to see the guy, and that's pretty much it. Unless you go to the bathroom and you kind of want to touch it up a little bit. But I tend to feel like if I have lip gloss on when I first see the guy and then it wears off, they kind of notice after a while. Like, maybe not notice right away, but if you go into the bathroom and it has wiped off and you reapply it, he might notice that your lips just became really shiny again. So I don't know, I feel a little bit weird about reapplying lip gloss. Maybe that's just a weird thing that I do. I don't really know, but these are two that I highly recommend. The NYX one is in Tiramisu, and this Maybelline one is in Nude Illusion. Now, also going along the lines of lip products, I mean, if it's like a special event or whatever, you can definitely do a bold lip color. And again, this won't apply to everybody, but me personally, I like to just go with a subtle color. I kind of like to do as natural as possible. Like, this is probably the extent I will go, no further than that, just because I want the person to kind of see the real me and not be like overwhelmed with so much makeup, and he might think you're way too high maintenance for him. I don't know, these things in my head just happen. One more thing about the lips is please make sure you carry a chapstick, put it on before your date, put it on during your date, maybe not in front of him because that might be implying something. But please just keep reapplying chapstick. Usually first dates will end in a kiss most of the time. Maybe if you're a little bit older, younger, not so much. I don't really know how this works nowadays, but you know, when he wants to come in for that kiss or she wants to come in for that kiss, you want to make sure you have soft lips so it's something memorable and not something he wants to erase from his memory. So I use Blistex and Raspberry Lemonade Blast, so mine has a little bit of a flavor to it, but not too overpowering. You can definitely get away with a bland one, like a tasteless one, and it really won't matter. I just really like how this moisturizes my lips. And that's also going in my bag. Now for us ladies that wear fake eyelashes, if you're planning on wearing fake eyelashes for your first date, this will save your life. Please carry an extra, my poor Duo lash glue has just had it with its life right now. Please carry lash glue and a pair of tweezers in your bag. I can't tell you how many times I had gone out, like for the day or whatever, wearing fake eyelashes, and I think I put them on good. But after a while, you'll start to see like the corners lift up. And I don't know if this happens to you, but I can't help but to play with it. So I'll just like start like doing this, and eventually like the whole thing will be hanging off. Like, you do not want to have to run to CVS to buy Duo lash glue during your date. You want it to be unnoticeable. You just want your eyelashes to look awesome on their own, like naturally. But also, I highly recommend carrying tweezers. Even if you don't apply tweezers, I apply tweezers. I apply eyelashes with tweezers. Ladies, we have hair on our face, unwanted hair, and I can't tell you how many times that I've been out at a special event and I go into the mirror and I have like one like coarse hair on my chin, and I'm like again, it's one of those things that if I know it's there, I feel like everybody knows it's there. So I carry tweezers with me to make sure that never happens, or if it does happen, that I can correct the situation quickly, because otherwise that's all I'll be thinking about is that one friggin' hair sticking out of my chin. I'm filming a video. Okay, next product is hand lotion. I have it backwards. It's called Look My New Hands. I would highly recommend carrying just a little guy like this in your clutch if you carry a purse in your purse. But this is a highly moisturizing hand lotion, and I like to put this on my way there, so not too early, but also not too late, where if I shake his hand or whatever, it's not greasy. I want it to have time to soak in. So probably, I'd say like no earlier than a half hour before your date. Does that make sense? No earlier than a half? Or no later? Whatever. Whatever. A half hour before your date, make sure you have this on your hands and it will soak in. Especially this one I found to be extremely moisturizing. I'm actually gonna put it on right now. But again, it's one of those things where it's like the lips, if he touches your hands, he just wants to remember soft hands. For me personally, I like to be as feminine as possible when I go out on dates, so soft hands resemble or represent femininity, females to me. So I just personally like to carry hand lotion, and it's already getting packed. So a couple of things that I don't personally have in my possession are gum, or those little Wick, is it called Wick? Or like those little tiny toothbrushes with like the blue dot in the middle. You can brush your teeth before the date, but after a while, especially if you eat or whatever and you've just been out a while, you start to just feel a little bit gross. If you go out for coffee, you're going to have coffee breath. I personally don't like to chew gum while I'm with the person. I just like to very quickly chew it, try to like get like the taste out of my mouth or whatever, and then spit it out. I really, really don't like when people are chewing gum and obnoxiously. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'm like, ew. Like, that's exactly my reaction, but in my head, not out loud. But it will make you feel better to freshen up, and it might not make you as nervous to go in for that first kiss at the end of the night. You might not want to if you're not feeling so fresh. But if you have, gum with you or one of those little toothbrushes, you can easily fix the problem. Another thing is a safety pin, and I know this sounds really, really bizarre, but this happened to me actually a lot at school. Ooh, if you want me to do a version of this for school, let me know, because I went through a lot in school, and I'm not going to let it go to waste. I'm going to share with you guys what to bring to school so you don't have to deal with what I deal with. Anyways, bring a safety pin. Honestly, things happen. You can get snagged on a corner, you can get snagged on something, your dress can rip, or whatever you're wearing can rip if it's a little bit too tight. I have a ripped pants story I'm not willing to share with you guys. Trust me, you're gonna want a safety pin. Even if you don't use it, someday you'll be glad that you have it. Okay, so a couple more things is bring your phone, and I'm actually planning on doing a what's on my iPhone video very shortly. I might actually film this after this. But bring your phone and make sure that it's charged all the way. And always, always, always have a backup pickup. Does that make any sense? If you go on a first date, typically you don't really know the person very well. In my case, it was different. It was my best friend at the time. It's a guy, but he was like my best friend, and we ended up dating. I mean, dates are supposed to be fun, and you're not supposed to feel pressure to stay with the guy. Can you not? Hey. First dates is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to feel pressure to have to go home with the guy, to get in his car. None of that. It's to get to know the person. I feel like dating has kind of changed, but my version of dating is if I date one guy, that doesn't make me, can you not? You're not obligated to go out with the guy again. I feel like dating is just kind of a way to see if you're interested in the guy or get a free meal. Either way, you shouldn't be obligated to have to call him back, to get in his car, to have him pick you up, drop you off, whatever. So if the date goes sour, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to leave. You shouldn't feel obligated to have to stay there. This is what a date is. So always have a backup. Have one of your girlfriends pick you up. Your mom, if you don't feel comfortable getting in the car with this guy, just make sure you have a ride home, because you don't want to find yourself at like 11:30 at night, everybody's sleeping, and now you have to get in the car with this guy or call a cab, so you spend money or date rape. I don't know. That was a little excessive, but it's happened to me before. I'm kind of like, and I'm not really feeling this guy, and then like he's gonna drive me home, I gotta talk to him more, like the date's over, I'm done with you, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I just had a burp and I try to hold it in. But anyways, just have your phone on. It's always good to have on emergency. Just please, it's not, again, it's one of those things where it's just kind of my personal preference, but I hate if you're on a date and they're on their phone. If they even just send a quick text or a call or whatever they're doing. I was just calling my husband. Whoops. Whatever they're doing, I feel like it's so rude. Maybe it's just me, but I'm just like, you're out on a date with me. Who's the other girl you're talking to? Not that crazy, but I don't know. It's just one of those rude things. So I bring my phone, but I always leave it in my clutch. I don't pick it up. Even if I'm getting a phone call, I just check to make sure that it's not my babysitter, or, at the time, I didn't have kids, when I was dating, but I just make sure that's not important. And if I know the person that's calling me doesn't have anything like super important to say, I just will wait till I go to the bathroom and send them a text message that, I'm out on a date, I'll call you back later. But to pick up the phone right then and there is just so rude to me. This video is so much longer than I thought, so I'm gonna wrap it up with 3 more quick things. They all kind of go hand in hand. But I always like to carry just a tiny bit of cash with me, my license, and my debit card. Because, okay, the guy is usually obligated to pay for your meal, but I just feel like if you don't even consider bringing anything, like any sort of money, it's a little bit rude. Like, I understand this society, or like ever, was like the guy pays for the meal, which I get. I've never actually had to pay for a first date meal as of yet, as of ever actually. But I just feel like if you don't bring anything and then it just ends up happening that he can't pay for it, or he doesn't expect to pay for the whole thing, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit weird if you're like, oh, well, I didn't bring any money. You know what I mean? Like, you knew you were going out to do something and you just didn't bring anything. You kind of expected it. So I always carry just a little bit of cash on me and then my debit card just in case. Also, parking, if you go to the beach and you have arcades or whatever, I don't know, I just feel like it's always good to have something on you. So that's it, guys. So I kind of filled up my bag, so I might need a little bit of a bigger clutch. But I hope this list helped you guys out. If you're a teenage girl, don't even tell me you're in middle school trying to go on a date. No, my first date was probably 8th grade. So if you're like in 8th grade, all the way up to college or even older, dating can be scary. You don't really know the person, you're going out, you know, it's kind of awkward, and you really just don't want to worry about anything. So I just hope this list, I put it together again off of my personal experiences, things that I thought, you know, what if this could happen. So I hope that you follow this list or get some inspiration from this list, and I hope that if you have a first date that it went very, very well, and I hope that there's a second date to follow. But thank you guys so much for watching. I had to swallow. It was too much spit accumulating in my mouth. TMI. But anyways, please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. You can also subscribe if you want to. I'm also on Facebook and I'm not on Facebook. I am on Instagram and Twitter, both at Shayzanae. And that's it. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you next time. Bye!